Hi friends, this is Shashwat Chaturvedi and today we are going to discuss about functions. This is the first part of the chapter and we'll be discussing some of the chapters right now and some of them later. So my name is Shashwat and I've done my BTech from University College of Engineering, Rajasthan Technical University, Kota, and you'll come to know about me more from this part of the presentation and can you can see me on Facebook as well. And we are going to discuss about functions and know about it, what functions are, and what is the exact definition and what exactly is function calls. In this chapter we are going to discuss it till overloading, and this part will be discussed. Default argument will be carried on from the next chapter. So now moving on and introducing you to functions in C++. So now we are going to first discuss about function prototype and type checking. Function prototype is a declarative statement for any function which has to be provided to the compiler before it actually is being used in the program. So what exactly this sentence means is that function prototyping is basically you'll have to tell that what function, or where the programmer has to tell that what function is being used in the total program, and what functions are we going to declare, and what functions are we going to use to complete the program and solve the problem at any level. So this is basically, we can have an idea by this definition that declarative statements are being used, and we'll come to know about it more from the function prototyping, and what functions are will be discussed later exactly. And so this is the first thing we have to do while we are going to declare any function, or we are going to use any function. We'll first have to declare it. So that is being used as a function prototype. And what is function type checking? Is the function prototypes helps the compiler to check the function and the argument passed to the function. So basically function prototypes helps the compiler to check what functions are being used and what arguments are being passed to the program, and know more about it from the functions being used in the program. The syntax for the function prototyping is return type, function name, and separated arguments. So basically we'll have to declare the name of the function we are using, and with the separate arguments are being, how are they being used, and what exactly is the function in the total program. And you can screenshot the syntax that can be of use for you in any program writing and declaring any program. Moving ahead, what function definition is? The actual implementation of the function statements or body is called the function definition. So when the function is being implied, or when the function is being used in the program, we call it as the function definition, and the total body of that function, or that function is being used, the place where the function is being used, that is known as the body. So that is called as the function definition. The first line of the function is called as the function header, followed by the body. The first line of the function, as we all know, we try to give introductions to things. So by giving them some title or some heading, so that is the same thing is with the functions, and that is why the function headers are being given the first, and then it is followed by the body or the main content of the function. When we are working with the functions, it requires passing some value to the function at the time of function call, which is called as function arguments. So when we are working with the functions, it requires passing of some values. So basically when the function is being applied, it's being applied on some values or the variables that are being used in the program. So that is passing of some values to the function at the time of function call, which is the function arguments. So when we call the function, or when we fetch the function for the variables, and we use it, so at that time this passing of some values is being used, and that is called as a function argument. Or I must say that function arguments are the basically they are the summary of how are they being used and on what variables are they being used. So that is called as the function arguments in simple layman language. Moving ahead, what function call is? As I said it in the last point of function definition, that when we call the function, so what function call is exactly? So invoking a function to perform a specified task anywhere inside the program is defined as a function call. So what this means, what this line exactly means is कि when we are going to perform a specified task, so basically we are going to do some task using that function, and we are using the function for some particular problem. So for that we call some data from the program and from other programs, and some variables are being called, and all of these, so that that function can be used. So that is called as a function call. The content, we are making the content. For example, for cooking something we need the raw material, so that is being used. For that we'll have to go and fetch it, fetch the raw material for it, for cooking, like salt, water, and all of that stuff. So similarly, for the program, for using the function, on the function is being applied on some or implied on some particular variables data, and that is being fetched from somewhere, and that is given by the function call that can be used for calling some important data for it. When we call a function, pass some value to it as function arguments called parameter passing. So when we call a function, what particular function we use, or what particular function we are going to use in the program, that is being we need to see that is it eligible enough for using it in the program. So that can be seen by parameter passing. So we can basically say that when we call a function and pass some values as to it as function arguments, so that can be called as parameter passing. So when we call a function, so whenever we called a function and we use some values or variables or data for that, so that function argument is eligible enough for that parametric passing. Function call can be classified into three classes, that is call by value, call by reference, call by address. Now we'll discuss what these exactly are. Call by value. When a function is called in a way that the arguments passed to it have some value associated to it, we define the function call as call by value. So we can say that when we are calling when a function is being called, or we call the function by some value, for example x equals to 12. So when we are calling a function and we are calling 12, then x will come. So that is basically call by value. This means that we are calling it with specific value it is attached to. Next is call by reference. The pass by reference uses the concept of call by value as well as the pass the reference of the variable, since the value passed to the function uses the reference location of the variable. We can say that for example, x is located in the range of a to b. So we can say that with the value of 12 in the range of a to b, I want the data, so it will pass on to the function the value x. So that is called as call by reference, where we give a reference or we give a reference of location to the function, so that we can call the argument by using that reference. Next is call by address. The pass by address mechanism uses the concept of assignment the address location as the argument to the called function. In call by address, we copy the address location of the actual argument to the formal agent. So now if we have a specified address for some data or some argument, we usually use the call by address thing as for example, now x is located exactly between y and z. So now we can say that the value which is in between y and z exactly is to be called, and that is calling by address, so that we can use that variable or the value for the particular function, and it is to be used in the program. Moving on, now we are going to discuss function overloading. When we define more than one function definition in the same program and all with the same function name but the different argument sets, we call it as function overloading. Now we can say that when we are using same function for different tasks, we can say that the function is being overloaded. For example, the minus sign can be used, or this hyphen can be used as many things. So for example, it can be used as a hyphen, it can be used as a minus sign, or for subtraction. So this particular sign that was here is being overloaded. Similarly, some function that is being used in different tasks in different aspects of the program, we can say that the function is being overloaded. For further this we are going to continue it in the next chapter. Please do look at my next video for the further knowledge, and don't forget to review, recommend and rate my video. Thank you.